The US versus Canada. Why aren't we doing this all the time? Four Nations Cup was an unbelievable boost for hockey. You even got President Trump calling up the US locker room to give them a speech. I even got the leaked audio for it.
Good luck, Team Boston. I have been assured that tonight is a very important game. Very important. Everyone is saying it. If you defeat Team Montreal tonight, who boo us and mock us, Canada will become our very prestigious and honored 51st state. Beautiful country, lots of resources. So you know what to do. Slapsticks, put the ball in the goal, and I promise, this time next year, you'll be playing Russia.
This was a hell of a game, and I'm going to go through the recap of the game, but it's like 1 a.m. here, so I'm going to make it fast. Let's talk about it.
Here's Piernas.
Every time this happens, it's historic. I don't know why we don't do this more often.
2:40 to go. Game tied at 2. Hatcher with it. Shoots one, save, rebound, score! Amonte has broken the tie!
Jovanovski. He gets set, flipped it over for Sakic, comes in, shot, scores! Joe Sakic faked the pass and took the shot on the short side.
Do you think we're going to have an All-Star game next year? Do you guys miss the All-Star game after watching this? I'm going to get into the recap, but first, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I need you to. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate it. I make all sorts of hockey content, but if you're subscribed, don't worry about it. Just hit that like button. I'm trying to think if there's any laundry list stuff that I need to talk about before we get into the recap. And there is something. Josh Morrissey wasn't playing. He woke up, wasn't feeling good, so he's out. Thomas Harley is in. On the US, I think that, who was it? Kyle Connor. Yeah, they scratched Kyle Connor and put in Chris Kreider. Thinking about that now, that was a bad move. And thinking a little bit more about it, I might talk about it later, but Matthew Tkachuk, a little bit selfish. He should have taken the night off. So we start off with the national anthem debacle. The Canadian national anthem gets booed, but I'm not sure if they're booing it out of like a principle reason or if they're booing it because it's the worst rendition of the national anthem I've heard in a long time. I've always wondered, like, when you're getting a national anthem singer, you probably have to like look at the resume, right? Have you done this before? You know the lyrics? But this was Chantal Kraviatsky, like a professional singer, and she just could not do it. Then I like this. It was kind of smart. The US national anthem, it was also bad, but they had a band out and you couldn't hear anything necessarily. It was a very operatic singer, so you couldn't really hear the boos. Plus the US audience in attendance was singing. So yeah, the boos were drowned out. Is that an omen for this game? You'll see. The puck drops, the ref says, let's get ready for an epic battle. Thought that was pretty funny. The energy of the game is intense. They're fighting. They're really fighting. It feels like a playoff hockey game. It's got a weird energy to it, though. I wouldn't say it's like a Game 7. I know a lot of people are comparing it to like a Game 7 Stanley Cup final, but I don't know. There was weirdness in it. There's some players that were playing their hearts out, and there were some players that were questionable. Let me know if you think the same way or if that's a bad take. Anyway, it doesn't take long before this guy strikes.
He finds MacKinnon on the move. MacKinnon scores!
That's Nathan MacKinnon from up high with traffic. Connor Hellebuyck had no chance on this one. He had no idea where it was coming from, and it finds its way to the net. It's a beautiful goal. Canada keeps pouring it on. They're both getting opportunities, and the shots are remaining fair. But the Canadians have a couple of opportunities where they're trying to jam the puck in. Bennett is trying to jam the puck in on Hellebuyck. And Hellebuyck is having a discussion with the ref, and his eyes are so intense. If we're going to talk about players that I respect on the US team, Hellebuck's got to be up there. Another player that I respect, but I also disrespect quite a bit, is Brady Tkachuk, and he's the next one to get a goal. He fluttered this puck into the net. He kind of bumped it in. You get in front of the net and you put pucks in front, you're going to get rewarded. Binnington lost it, couldn't track it, went behind him. Not long after that, Tkachuk slams Harley into the boards, as you do, The crowd goes absolutely insane. There's a lot of energy in the building. But it's kind of funny because you felt like the crowd reaction, there might have been like a lot of fans that have never watched hockey before watching this game. They were going nuts for like the smallest, weirdest things. But that's how the first period's going to end. 1-1. 10 shots, 10 shots. They're both going at it pretty hard. Period 2, the puck drops. Poor JT Miller. He's had quite the season. And this tournament, he's had some flashes, but getting his butt kicked and then getting a puck in the face, that's no good. Poor guy. Then we see Binnington make a great stop, but he loses sight of it, gets turned around. He's completely confused. Another player I really respect, Jake Gensel. He's mixing it up in the corner. He's showing some passion. Having words with Mark Stone. I can't imagine they're exchanging cooking recipes. And not long after that, Jake Sanderson is going to pull the game ahead for the U.S. Binnington makes the initial save here. He feeds up a big fat rebound. Sanderson gets it. He cleans up the garbage. Then almost directly after, Trocheck takes a tripping penalty. And if you're rooting for Canada, this is like you're going to get a for sure goal here, right? This power play is lethal. Power play looks really bad. They did a very poor job. I felt like I was watching my own, no, just joking around, Habs fans, but I thought it felt like I was watching a Habs power play from recent. I think the U.S. had more opportunities than Canada did, but that's okay because Bennett is going to put one in from a feed from Marner, and we're right back to square one.
Comes on. Marner's got the puck. Into the middle. Back to Sam Bennett. Scores! Sam Bennett!
I really liked what Marner did here, and I liked watching, it's weird, it feels dirty, but I liked watching Marner this series. Marner was so patient with this, passes it off to Bennett, and Bennett puts it top shelf, right where grandma keeps the cookies. What happens next? Okay, Tkachuk puts Doughty into the boards again, and I think it was right, maybe a little bit earlier than this, but Matthew Tkachuk, he's nowhere to be seen. You hear that he's skating around during commercial breaks, trying to test, I think probably trying to test whether or not his groin is good to go. Sounds like the same type of injury that he had just apparently recovered from. Would it have been smart to scratch Tkachuk? Matthew, that is. I think that there's going to be a lot of questions from fans of the U.S. team, and that could be one of them. Period number 2 ends. Shots again are 19-19, and it's tied 2-2. Talk about like a pretty even game. Third period, Crosby is zoned in, but the Canadians make a bad line change. Gensel goes in, but Binnington shuts him down. Very patient of Binnington. Colton Parayko, you made a fan out of me. I loved seeing him launch this 93-mile-per-hour shot at Hellebuck. Hellebuck gets his board on it, but dang, that would have fooled a lesser goalie. Here's a moment of brilliance for JT Miller. He chops up a pass between Connor McDavid, I think, and someone else. Gosh, I should have written this down. Anyway, it could have been a tap-in, and Miller says, no, that's not happening. But the third period was energetic. You could tell that some players were starting to lose steam, and nothing would be added to the scoreboard. They would end the third period 2-2. We're going to overtime. Shots are now 27 U.S., 24 Canada. And going into OT, the U.S. continues some more momentum than what Canada had. I felt like Canada was playing tired. I felt like the U.S. still had something in them. So they dropped the puck in OT, and I was right. The U.S. does look like they're a little bit more energized than Canada. Mitch Marner sandbags it into the defensive zone. Shoulder checks, sees that he has Matthews behind him, doesn't do a good job at getting the puck in possession, turns it over to Matthews, and it leads to 2 fat chances, one by Matthews and someone else. But Binnington turns up big, and then Binnington goes 1+ on that.
Goes to Click. Dropped in. Cheers. Matthews. Another pass up. Rebound. Oh, Binnington. Did you?
Save of the game. He made an absolutely nuts save on Brady Tkachuk. Tkachuk could have been the hero right there. But Binnington came up big, and, you know, he has my respect for it. I doubted him. I really did. But I'm going to pretend like all my doubt in Binnington was just to give him fire, you know, like to drop myself into the consciousness and say, hey, you can't do it, buddy. And he wanted to prove me wrong.
Describe the Tkachuk brothers in one word.
Brothers.
And I'm glad he did, because not long after that epic save, this happens.
Carr sends it around. Marner waiting. Connor McDavid scores! Connor McDavid for Canada!
3-2 Canada in OT. It was intense. Something that, you couldn't have scripted very much better, right? So I won all my bets, but I should have listened to Craig Berube, because I could have made a bunch of money predicting the final score.
Final score prediction? Oh, score. Canada 3-2.
Marner hat trick, 2 goals.
Just a really beautiful moment for Team Canada. A lot of happy guys. It was good to see Connor McDavid that happy. You kind of feel like every win is just numb for him right now until he gets his next Game 7. But this, you could tell this was a big deal for him. And I mean, he couldn't have done it in a more spectacular way. But we could talk more about this game. Maybe I'll do a breakdown about it, because there was a lot that happened to it. And it's like 2 o'clock in the morning right now, and I'm tired and I got to wake up early with the kids. So you know what to do. Like the video. It helps me out with search results or something. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I'd love to have you. And as always, I'll see you down below in the comments.
Right on cue, as we talked about the Battle of Alberta, here these two go at it hard.